Hey everybody, welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie Jessica.
So it is Convincing My Bestie to Read time. So this is the series where we convince the other to read in a trope that they don't generally pick for themselves. So it's Mandy's turn to convince me. So what are we doing?
We are reading Bodyguard.
Okay, I can do Bodyguard. I don't normally go for Bodyguard, but I can do Bodyguard.
I love the Bodyguard trope when it is done right. So I've picked ones where I feel like it's done pretty well.
Okay.
I love like the forbidden aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
I like that forbidden romance, and I feel like I've read most of the good age gaps out there, so I had to move on.
You had to find something else.
Yes.
Okay. But before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We are still doing our Road to 1K giveaway. So when we reach 750 subscribers, we are going to be giving away
9 Minutes by Beth Flynn. Not Bodyguard, but age gap, and oh so good.
Yeah.
So you're going to want to win this. So hit that subscribe button when we get to 750. We'll be giving this away along with some other swag. It's also signed by the author. And also follow us on Instagram for an extra entry.
Perfect. All right. It's your show.
Okay, ready?
I am ready.
Okay, so my first recommendation for you is Mr. Bodyguard by Lauren Rowe. And this is part of the Morgan Brothers series. It's about Xander, who is an honorary Morgan brother. He's Peen's like best friend, so we see him in the other books. Xander falls in love easily, like that. He's in love, he's ready to get married, he's writing his future, and he constantly gets his heart broken. So he's fresh off another heartbreak when he is told by his boss that he is now going to be Aloha's bodyguard. Aloha is a musician. And he's like, okay, I can do that. Well, every one of the Morgans are like, haha, you're going to be in love. And they actually put money on this and start this bet. And he's like, no, I'm not going to fall in love with her. But guess what? They fall for each other, and there could be some deadly consequences happening here because there's a reason she needs bodyguard. So, Xander and Aloha.
Okay.
All right. It's a very good read. Next.
The Morgan Brothers are great. I've only read the first two, but they're great.
Yes. The very first one definitely has a different feel than the rest of the books.
Yeah.
Hero starts off I cried in the prologue.
You do, as you do.
No, it is a very good book. It's very emotional. It really pulls at those heartstrings. I absolutely loved it. The rest of the books have more of that Lauren Rowe lighthearted, sometimes funny moments feel, I think. I've read the whole series. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
He has a standalone from that series that I still want to go read about fish. I should do that when we're done with this. Okay, next up is, I don't know why you haven't read this book. It's my favorite in the Neva Altai series. So why you haven't read it is confusing to me. And I feel like maybe you shouldn't be allowed to pick it because you are going to read it at some point. Okay, this is Burn Dreams by Neva Altai. This is Alessandro and Ravenna. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure. Ravenna. Okay. Yeah. So Ravenna is Rocco's wife, and we hear bits and pieces about Rocco throughout the series. So if you've read the series, you already know that Alessandro was signed to Ravenna because everybody thinks Alessandro's gay. Why they think this is just simply because he doesn't have a flavor of the week, the month, or even the year. So they assume he's gay. People who are very close to him know that's not true, but everyone else does. So Rocco's crazy and shoots everybody who even looks at his wife. So that makes it very hard to keep bodyguard. So that's why Alessandro's put here. Alessandro has been plotting his revenge against Rocco for many, many years. And that story kind of unfolds, so I won't really go into that. But he goes there with every intention of hating Ravenna. He hates Rocco, and Rocco is not a nice man. This is not a good marriage. It actually is, it's really bothersome. So he is there to protect her, but really, she should need protection from him. But as he's guarding her, he realizes she's in a really miserable situation, and he starts to kind of fall for her, which makes things very complicated in his revenge plan. I absolutely loved it. This is very different because he wants to fight his bodyguard. Like, he's fighting these feelings. And other bodyguard romances, they fight their feelings because it's their job and they feel this duty. He is fighting his feelings. He could give crap less about this job. He hates Rocco.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's just a whole different feel to the bodyguard situation. Okay.
Hold on. McKinley, come. One of the kids let the dogs, the husky in here. Sit. And she's going to get herself in trouble. Okay. I'm listening now.
Next up is By Virtue I Fall by Cora Riley. I love this one too. This is about Anna and Santino. So reading some other books, we've seen some banter between the two of those. And I knew right away that something had to be going on between the two of them. And I actually called you and I'm like, is there a book for them?
And
you're like, I think there is. Mm-hmm. But you have not read it. No. So I read it, loved it. And now I'm going to recommend it as a bodyguard romance because it is fantastic. So as I said, they have this banter between them. This can be read as a standalone. You really don't need to, like, I've hopped all over the place in Cora Riley's world and have been just fine. So you can read this as a standalone. So Anna, though, for those who are familiar with her world, is Val and Dante's daughter. And that is why they need a bodyguard for her. So Santino has been her bodyguard for many years, and she has flirted with him and tried to get his attention. And he is like, nope, nope, nope. Well, then she is getting the offer to go to Paris for 3 years for fashion school before she has to marry her fiance, because this is the mafia world. There's arranged marriages. And she really wants Santino to be her bodyguard there. So she kind of blackmails him into agreeing to go with her. Well, once they get there, things happen between the two of them and a relationship kind of starts. But he's the bodyguard and this is a mafia situation. So this isn't just like I might lose my job. This is like I'm going to probably lose my life situation. She has a fiance. So there was all of that extra layer for this, which really makes it forbidden. And I absolutely loved it. And what I also really like is she's a very dutiful daughter. She knows she's going to marry this person and she's perfectly content doing that for her family. And so she's not trying to beg him to change his ways, and he's not trying to beg her to change her ways. They understand what this really is. I loved it. So good. Okay. So we're halfway through.
Yes.
Okay. So my next recommendation for you is Mark's Girl by T.L. Swan. This is about Ben and Bridget. Ben was not necessarily Bridget's bodyguard, but the family bodyguard. And him and Bridget had a relationship together, and he fell for her pretty quickly and just basically left her. Like, boom, gone, vanished out of her life. He's doing it for reasons we don't know, we don't understand. We know there's something there, but we don't know. And it takes a while to get to that because it's a T.L. Swan book. Yeah. Some of those things, her books are a little bit longer. And so we are like 5 years like in the present. So this happened 5 years in the past. So now we're in the present. And he is at a wedding and she's there with her new boyfriend. And he does not like that at all. And he's like, this is my girl. I'm going to get her back. And so this is kind of their second chance romance, but really it's got more layers to it because he just left her. Like, she doesn't understand why. Things were great between them, she thought. And then he's just, boom, gone. So this is that story. So while it starts off as a bodyguard situation, that's not really the whole premise of the book. So the other book.
Isn't this in like the Mr. Masters world?
I don't think so.
I thought it was mentioned in Mr. Masters. I could be wrong.
I remember how they
It could just be that I enjoyed Mr. Masters. I went to go see what else T.L. Swan had, and that's something that pulled up too, because it's been so long since I read it.
Yeah, T.L. Swan can really be hit or miss with me. I'm learning.
Yeah.
Which is weird. It's like, how can you write such great books like Dr. Stanton, Mr. Masters, and then write other books? I can't remember the T.L. Swan book I read not too long ago. It was just, I was like, oh my gosh, this is awful.
Stop over.
Yes. That's what it was. I did not like it. But you told me to keep reading in that series. Like the second one was really good.
The Takeover, I think is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So next we have The Plan by Carla Sorensen. So Lydia is still living with her family. She is kind of at like college age. She's an social media influencer. Her dad was in the NFL. So like her family is well off, well known. She gets in a car accident and basically refuses to leave their house. And so her family is very, very worried about her. So they think, well, and the car accident was caused because paparazzi was chasing her. And so they think, well, we need to if we hire a bodyguard, then she'll feel more comfortable and she'll start to leave the house. And so he reaches out to one of his old NFL buddies, Eric, and asks Eric to do it. Now, Eric left the NFL because of an injury, not because he wanted to. And he's not a bodyguard. And he's pretty plain, like not a bodyguard. But he's doing this as a favor to his friend. And he instantly has some attraction to her, but he's like, oh no, this is like there is an age gap, but this is like the dad is friends with him, but you know how like your parents can have age gap friendships, kind of. Does that make sense? So we're not talking about like some 50-year-old man. He's still young. Okay. Anyway, so he is tasked with this and he's kind of grumpy about it, but he's going to do it. And then he realizes like how he really is attracted to her. And he realizes how closed off she is and how she's really like not allowed. Like he tries to coax her just to like, let's go for one ride in the car, like that sort of thing. But she doesn't want to have a bodyguard. She's embarrassed about how she feels. So they agree that he will pretend to be her boyfriend in public. So that way there's this cover story about why she has the bodyguard instead of having to admit to people that she's like terrified to leave her home. So that's how the story starts. And we see how their relationship goes from there. I really enjoyed this one. It was a really good read.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm telling you I really enjoyed them because I enjoyed
them. I know you did if you're recommending them.
So good.
Okay.
Next.
Last.
Okay, before I tell you this book, the characters' names are Aberdeen and Blue. Do you remember that song that used to be on there? And people said it was like it was about blue, I'm so blue. And then it would say, and people swore up and down it said, in Aberdeen, I would die.
No.
You don't remember that song? And people said that it was written about Kurt Cobain. I'm blue, blue, da ba dee ba da die.
Oh, that song.
Yes, and people would say it said in Aberdeen, I will die.
Okay, that must have been something that happened in your high school, not in mine, because I don't remember that.
Everyone talked about it. It was like on MTV News.
I don't remember that. I remember liking the song, but that's not what the song says. The guys,
but that's what people said. Anyways, the girl's name in the story is Aberdeen, and the guy's name is Blue. And so I was like, huh, I wonder that. Anyway. Okay. This is called Protecting His Brat by Saoirse Black. Now, I would just like to say, sometimes when we title our books, we really need to think about the implications of it. Because Protecting His Brat, I know why. After reading the story, I know why she titled that. Because he refers to her as a brat. And not sexually to start with.
Okay, because you think it's sexually.
Yes. I mean, it does become that, obviously. Considering we're on a romance channel here.
Yeah.
But the name can be off-putting if you're like, ooh, I don't want to read Protecting His Brat, because that sounds like, it's going to be this smutty novella. It's not a novella, and it's actually really good. But yes, it does have some kinks and some erotica, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
But the title just makes it sound like it's just going to be like a sleazy read, and it has a really good plot. Okay. So I just don't want you to be turned off by the name. So this is about Aberdeen. She is almost 22 years old. She's an only child, and she lives with her mom, who controls the heck out of everything. And she basically has Aberdeen locked in this mansion and terrified to do anything because people keep trying to kill her. And her mom is acting as if she's protecting her. Her mom is very distant towards her. So her only friendship has been like the house staff. Like those are her closest people. Well, her bodyguard is retiring because he's older and he's ready to retire. And so Blue comes in as the new bodyguard. Well, Aberdeen has lived this very sheltered life, and Blue is there to protect her, but she wants more from Blue. So there is some times where she calls, like, she's like, is that so, daddy? Like, to get under his skin. And he'll be like, knock the daddy shit off.
Mm-hmm.
But things happen between them, and it is definitely on the smuttier side if you're going to talk about like spice level and that sort of thing. But it's really good. It has a romantic suspense vibe to it. I really enjoyed it. You just kind of have to get past the name.
Okay.
But it has the forbidden aspects. Like somebody is legitimately trying to kill her, and he's got to protect her.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So like in Mark's Girl, there's like, I mean, I guess all of them kind of have a little bit of romantic suspense, but Mark's Girl would be the one where it's least that he's like the bodyguard.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. Yes. Because he was at one point.
He was, and they had this relationship that they probably, shouldn't have had because he was their family's bodyguard. But the other ones have that definite element, like active duty bodyguard.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Why do you have to make it so hard?
They're all really good reads. So, ooh, we could do something new where you have to read all of them.
I don't agree to that.
I'm kidding.
Okay. So I like 4 of these have been on my TBR.
Ooh,
like
which 4?
Well, Mr. Bodyguard has been on my TBR.
Okay.
I read the first Morgan Brothers book. And then Marcus Girl has been on my TBR since 2020.
Mm-hmm.
But.
And then the Cora Riley and the Neva Altai.
Yeah.
Okay.
But here's the deal. Neva Altai's latest book is releasing this week.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to read Burned Dreams before I read that.
Mm-hmm.
But I really want to read Cora Riley.
You should read both of them. Read Burned Dreams because you're going to read it because it's part of the series, and then pick the Cora Riley book.
That's what you think I should do?
Yes.
You have talked an awful lot about the Cora Riley book this week.
It was good. I really enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it. Okay, I'm going to go with the Cora Riley book.
Yay!
I'm going to have to read Burned Dreams this week. So.
Yeah, and then you'll still have a bunch of other ones on your list.
Yep. Okay.
I can see.
Let me actually mark this, that this is the one I chose so that I don't call you 3 days from now and go, which book did I choose?
You didn't just call me once and ask
No, I didn't. I called you several times, but that's because we both recorded way in advance because we knew I was going to be gone. And so there was, instead of giving us the week that we normally give each other, there was like several weeks in there. And so I just kind of kept putting it off. And then I didn't remember what I chose. So there's that. And for some reason, I expected you to remember what I chose, which that was not very smart of me.
I think I'll remember this one, but it was so good. All of these were really good, but it definitely has more of the angst of the Forbidden Bodyguard. I cried.
that doesn't tell me anything. You cry in a lot of books that I don't cry in.
It doesn't mean anything. I am in touch with my feelings. Doesn't mean
I
anything.
am a nice queen, apparently.
Stone Cold Jessica over there.
Oops. Okay, so we'll be back to see how I like this.
All right, Jessica, what did you think?
I enjoyed it. I actually was like, this is so good. I'm just going to go read the next one after this because I just had to keep going. I gave it 4 stars. I can see how you loved it. I don't know that Bodyguard's ever really my thing. It's got to really feel forbidden. You know what it is? I just need them to kidnap the person and force them into a relationship. And that is what it is. I just need that. I'm going to force you into this relationship.
When people are willing, you just aren't there for it.
Exactly. Even if both parties are into it, I don't know that I want to read it. But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. I love Cora Riley. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, even the stuff that hasn't been as popular with me, I still love. I still give at least 4 stars. I don't think I've given her less than 4 stars on anything. Just because I love that world. I don't really care. Like you said before, I don't really care about Dante and whatever her name was. Anna's parents. I don't care.
Val.
Now, when we get into like the other families, yes, I care. But Dante was never my thing.
Yeah.
Yep. So don't want to be in Chicago. I want to be in Vegas or New York. Let's just put it that way. So
yeah.
So I really loved it. I did not read the Neva Altai book yet because I was too busy reading other stuff this week. So, you know.
All right.
Yeah. But I will. So, yay. All right.
That was a really random add-on, Jessica.
Well, because when we filmed it before, you told me to read both.
I did. Yeah. Yes, that's right. Yeah. I'm disappointed. Now I'm mad at you. I'm just
kidding. Yeah.
All right.
So worried. Okay. All right, guys. So that's what we have for you for Bodyguard.
So make sure to leave us a comment. Tell us, do you like the Bodyguard trope? If so, do you have any good Bodyguard recommendations? Have you read any of these books? Did you put any on your TBR? Tell us all the bookish things and make sure to check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for new videos from us. And starting next week, check back on...
There's a kid just walked in, let all the dogs in. Keep going.
Okay. And make sure to start checking on Wednesdays as well for our new series, Romance 101, that will continue through this year.
We're really excited for this one.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.